Hello, welcome to Bye Adventureland channel. In this video I want to show you 10 reasons why evolution fails.
Alright, here we go. Reason number 1. Evolutionary fossil record fails. Textbook says, evolution is change over time. I would like to show you my first example is this dragonfly. Do you believe the line of this dragonfly changed over millions of years? Let's look at the fossil record to find out. Here you see in a picture is dragonfly, supposedly from 170 million years ago. You can see it right here. And now let's compare these two creatures, these two dragonflies. First thing I would like to point out, every single species of dragonfly has this little dark spot on a wing right here, and that's a weight. When dragonfly flies at high speed, the wing would vibrate, and it helps with the vibration, it stops the vibration so dragonfly can go faster. Let's see if this one has it. Just like this one, it has right here, see the spot, that's where that little weight goes, so it does have it. Then if you compare the wings, every single little band, every single little dent has it. Like right here, you see this thing, it would be there. This line, it would be that line. So it matches 100% to the one. So my question is, where is 170 million years of evolution? Why there is no change? Scientists say that dragonfly evolved its legs into wings, but we never see anything in a fossil record that would even give a hint for that. There is a lot of fossilized dragonfly. However, scientists never find anything that would be half evolved, like half wing, half leg. It's always 100% dragonfly. Dragonflies are designed to adapt to their environment. That's why you can see bigger dragonflies, smaller dragonflies, maybe different coloration, different wing length. However, dragonfly were always this design. It never changes. I heard scientists says, wow, dragonfly stayed the same for 300 million years old. And the only thing that changed about it is the size. Because before they have 70 centimeter wingspan, now they're 3, 4, 5 inches. So you're going to tell me it takes 300 million years in order to dragonfly to downsize? Yeah, right. So fossil evidence does prove that dragonfly was always this design and it never evolved. But you're gonna tell me, how about other animals? Because right now some people comment under my video saying, why do you talk about dragonfly? What about other animals? We can see evolution in other animals. So I'm gonna go through a couple of these. For example, this shrimp right here. This is actual fossilized shrimp, and scientists claim it's 100 million years old. And the way I know is because it says it's Middle Cretaceous period. And this shrimp was excavated in Lebanon. But my point is, where is the evolution? Right now, there is like more, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands different species of shrimp, how they call them. But the point I'm trying to make right now, why is this shrimp fully functioning? Where is those half-developed creatures? So you're saying the shrimp stays the same for millions of years, millions and millions of years? Why we never see anything that's not evolved? The same we see it today, the same it was always been. Maybe the whole evolutionary time scale is wrong. Let's see other fossils. Let's see other. Alright, maybe we should move down to the plant kingdom to find evolution. I collected the real fossil from the fern that supposedly, according to scientists, came from Pennsylvanian period. And let's take a close look at this fern. You can see one species over here and another species over here. So what I did, I went to my backyard and I picked a fern in my backyard, and surprisingly it fit perfectly. So again, there's plants for 300 million years. See it coming from this period, Carboniferous period. It has zero change in it. We have both of these species growing today in my backyard. How fantastic that is. You know, I won't stay too long on fern. Let's move down to other animals. Let's try to see if fish evolved from 50 million years ago. This right here was excavated in Wyoming fossil fish lake. And right here you see something that looks like a trout. It's hard to identify species. It's a little messy. But the thing is, you see fully functioning fish and looks exactly like the fish today. Skeleton, head, nothing wrong. with it. What's interesting is usually today fish don't fossilize. If anything falls on the floor, it getting eaten, destroyed, and just disappear, rots away. How can you save so many fish in one spot if it wasn't a catastrophic event of some sort? But here you see fish on top of fish, fossilized. You know, maybe I should go farther back in time to see evolution. Scientists claim that trilobite lived 600 million years ago. Can you imagine how much 600 million years is? If you take 1,000 of 1,000, 1,000 of 1,000, it's only 1 million. 600 million. I believe everything in that much time, all the mountain from the rain would get eroded and brought down to ocean and stuff. But, well, let's just go by their theory and let's just study the trilobite, see if we can see any evolution. So right here we have a trilobite. What's fascinating me is the trilobite has the most complicated eye ever. It has hundreds of lenses that he has to see through every single lens, and his brain has to put the information so he can see. How would you think that first creature to evolve has the most complicated eye ever? However, some people claim that there's trilobite still alive. And also you see a family of trilobite. They probably adapted their environment, but they always was trilobite. Another thing is, if this is 600 million year old, how can it stay like that? If I can, this is like sand rock. I can scratch it with my nail and it get destroyed. How wouldn't it get eroded, or even if it stay inside the mud, it still would get destroyed. It can't stay that long. I can't believe it. Let's look at the ammonite fossil here on the other side. I'm gonna move the trilobite away. Alright, here we see ammonite family of fossil. Some of the ammonites are big, some of them are small, some are different shaped than the other. However, they all the same family of ammonites. And there is no scientific proof that these change, and we cannot find any fossil record that they change into something else slowly. So that will bring us to the question, if animal doesn't evolve from one kind to another, like for example this dragonfly was always a dragonfly, shrimp was always a shrimp, even trilobite was always a trilobite with variety in their family. Horseshoe crab was always a horseshoe crab. Will bring us a question, where did the animal came from? And Bible tells us God created animals by their kind. That would make it, kind is mostly like a family of animals. So God would create a trilobite. It would later on have different offspring. It would still be a trilobite of family, but it would always be a trilobite. He designed a magnificent creature like a dragonfly, and it always is a dragonfly. He created all sorts of animals, and they bring different variety of children. However, they always stay in the same family, and we can see that from fossil record that they never change to other kind of animal. And we can go on and explore more and more animals. However, I'm gonna move on to my next point. Alright, here's reason number 2. Geologic timescale fails. Did you guys ever wonder how scientists know the age of ammonite fossil, for example, or trilobite, or even any plants or shrimp? That's right, they use geologic timescale. They do not use carbon dating. You know what geologic timescale is, for those who is not familiar with it? If you drive on a highway and you see how they cut the road, they cut the rock, and you see many layers. Well, basically scientists say that each layer is different amount of years old, which is probably millions of years. And right here they name each layer. Maybe you heard of Jurassic layer. That would be, one layer would be Jurassic, and the other one would be Jurassic, and so on. And they say in each layers of those layers they find different fossils. But right off the bat there's a problem with geologic column. As I mentioned, they know the age of the fossil by geologic column. Do you know how they know the age of the rock, of the geologic column? They date them by the fossil. That's right, they don't use carbon dating or other methods of dating to date the layers, because when the geologic column was invented, radiometric dating wasn't even invented. So they come up with the random numbers. Yes, that's right. They come up with the random numbers, 2 million years, 2.7 million years. 65 million years. They come up with the random numbers, and that's how the geologic column comes to be. Yes, but there's more problem with geologic time scale. If you look right here on this picture, the tree runs through multiple layers through a rock that was petrified in there. It's kind of like if you write a sentence in kindergarten and teacher cross it out. No, that's incorrect. Same thing here. The tree would cross out the geologic time scale because you cannot wait millions of years for another layer to come upon the other layers if the tree is standing there. Tree doesn't stand upright for millions of years, and there's many trees like that. Another reason, you can see a lot of those layers are bent, and as you know, you cannot bend rock, and you see all over the world bent layers. So that's why geologic time scale fails. First of all, it's made up. Secondly, it's circular reasoning. I don't know the dates. And lastly, all the layers on Earth that you see, pretty much all of them was formed in the water. Because you cannot have all the layers lay perfectly. If you look at the Grand Canyon, for example, you cannot have all the layers lay perfectly on top of each other with no erosion. Because if one layer would sit there, wait for millions of years for another layer to come upon it, don't you think it would rain once or twice and it would erode it? That way we see the Grand Canyon was formed underwater. And yes, geologic timescales fail. Let's go to next one. Reason number 3, creating life in laboratory fails. Urey and Miller, they make experiment. They take bunch of gases and chemicals and spark it with spark, trying to make life. However, they filter out all sorts of gases that doesn't happen in real life, and they still wasn't even close to creating life. They got 2 backwards amino acids. Let me explain that in like our world situation. For example, you have a car that's not starting. You take a jump starter, the battery is dead. You start the car and the car runs. In Urey and Miller experiments, it would be the same as you would take bunch of piece of metal, all sorts of shape, bunch of round object like tires, and you throw one big pile and you would throw a spark in there. You put jump starter and trying to start it. It will not work. Life is intelligently designed, and that's why it's failed to make life. Even intelligent people in laboratory filtering everything, they cannot even come close to make life. Not speaking in real world, with everything is just gonna break apart without also chemical around it. Reason number 4, homology structure does not prove evolution. We see right here the picture that somebody painted a bone that he thinks that looks the same in many different animals. However, it's just a design that works good. If you take a platypus, for example, what's the homology structure here? You can see the animal is designed. It has a beak like a duck. It has hands or whatever you call it, and it has tail. So is it a beaver? Is it a duck? It was designed like that. It doesn't prove that the beak doesn't prove that it evolved from a duck, and its tail doesn't prove that it evolved from a beaver. It proves that it's a separate animal and it's designed in their own family. Somebody comment under my video, why you do use dragonfly evolution? Why don't you use horse evolution? You can see a change here. And yes, somebody took a bunch of animals and put them in line. However, how do you know this animal is a father of this animal? There is no proof. You would have to imagine that. Yes, they look kind of similar, but anything that looks similar, it doesn't mean evolving one into another. Like platypus, it has a beak and it has a body and it lays eggs. Maybe it's a chicken. Especially this thing was proven wrong by scientists long time ago, and they still teach it as a fact today. No, this animal was not a grandfather of a horse. Somebody drew this picture without scientific proof. Reason number 5. Darwin was wrong. Excuse the grammatic error, I fixed it. So what Darwin did is he killed a bunch of birds that had different beaks. Some of them has small beaks, some of them has bigger beaks. And he know that if the bigger beaks, they gotta crack a stronger nuts and stronger seeds. So he said, oh, the birds had common ancestor. But what's important to know, all these birds is coming from the same family. And if you look over here, if you know the classification system, it's kingdom, division, class, order, family, genus, species. So instead of proving evolution, I would say these birds prove the Bible. Because Bible says God created animal by their kind, they can bring forth. So they can have babies. And Bible kind of animal is roughly around family level in this chart. So if you study the animal, yes, there is many variation of birds, all sorts of animals. Like for example, we have many different species of dogs. Some of them are like Great Dane, some of them Chihuahua. But all those dogs come to be in less than 500 years, most of the species. But it's still the same family of dogs. So that's how God designed them. But if you study the evolutionary process, you will never pass the family level. They always will stay in the same family. But what Darwin concluded is because these birds can adapt to their environment, now everything else is related to these birds, which is not science, it's what he thinks, it's his imagination. Because science never proved anything going past the family of animal. Just like the Bible says. Reason number 6. The theory that dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago fails. There is more than overwhelming evidence that dinosaur and man always lived together. From carvings on a wall of the canyon of dinosaur to clearly carved stegosaur in a temple that was built thousands of years ago, to all sorts of evidence. Like Biloxi River, there was footprints of dinosaur and man together. The people who went there, they saw the footprints of humans so clear that they could see the fingerprints of the foot on the dinosaur and human footprints together. I wasn't on Biloxi River, but I've been on some of the parks. I saw dinosaur footprints, and this is one of the toe from the dinosaur. I have the rock. So this is actually imprint from dinosaur toe right here. I know the guy who dig this out. I've been to his park. Alright, human and dinosaur always live together. Bible talks about it, many ancient literature talks about it. Just take your head out of the textbook sometimes and go research the real world and see the evidence for yourself. Reason number 7, the theory that dinosaurs turned into birds fails. First of all these pictures that you see is artwork, it's not fossil. Somebody just randomly draw it, some artist. I probably can do a better job. This dinosaur definitely looks like it's turning into a turkey. I would have it for Thanksgiving, however it's a fake drawing. So they say that dragonfly was exactly the same for 300 million years, and then they say this one in 60 million years turned from 2-chamber cold-blooded animal to 3-chamber hard for warm-blooded animal. How is that change happen? You know, they don't explain that. I don't think it's possible. If there was a mutation and dinosaur had a 2-chamber heart, all of a sudden now he has a 3-chamber heart. Who rerun all the veins? Like it's like wiring. Who run all the wiring for the heart? Or the whole dinosaur get mutated? No, it is impossible. First of all, there is no evidence. Secondly, besides this picture. Secondly, there's no possible way. Plus, dinosaur and man always live together, as we see before. I'm coming to a conclusion soon. Reason number 8. Evolution is not part of science. Evolution is a religion. You gotta believe in evolution the same thing as you believe in religious statements. Some guy would make up religious statement, you gotta believe in it. For example, there is no scientific proof of a Big Bang. Nobody saw it, you gotta believe that it happened. And then if you go on, nobody see any star forming or star. How did we get the stars? You gotta believe it happened somehow. Where do we get all the elements past iron? We cannot get all the elements past iron with diffusion. You gotta believe that it happened somehow, which is it's not scientific. Next, we gotta believe that life happened by itself. Nobody can recreate life in laboratory. You gotta believe that life happened by chance, and life is a really complicated thing. Just mixing a couple chemical, it will not become a life. If you take for example a chicken, you have all the elements, but if you cook it, you still have all the elements, but it will not become alive anymore. Same thing If you have a bunch of chemicals, if those chemicals become alive, they gotta reproduce, they gotta eat something. It's a really complicated system. It cannot start on its own. You gotta believe that it happened. That's why evolution is a belief. And then, let's keep going. You cannot prove that one species of one kind of animal or one family of animal turned into the other family. You can imagine that it happened, but you gotta believe it. You cannot say that trilobite evolved into a horseshoe crab. You can imagine that it did happen somehow, but there is no intermediate species that you can prove by science. That's what you gotta believe. Finally, if you believe in evolution theory, you would have to believe something really embarrassing, that you evolved from a monkey. You know, maybe you saw a picture of human skull or monkey skull slowly evolving to human skull. That picture is like grabs your attention, you start believing it. But that picture doesn't hold any water. A lot of those skull was proven wrong. Some of those skull were just 100% monkeys, and some of the skull were belonging to 100% humans. Maybe there were some deformed humans. We have some humans, deformed humans today that have probably a little bigger eyebrows. It doesn't prove they're evolving into a monkey, it's just a different human being. You have to believe that it happened. However, picture does look good, but it's not true. Even if you would have a monkey, the skull of that monkey looks kind of like a human, you still can prove that that monkey is 100% evolved to human, because there is a lot of animals that has nothing to do with each other and they look kind of similar. So it's a speculation and it's imagination, and you have to believe in evolution. Reason number 9 is common sense. If you see something that is designed, you automatically conclude it was designed. You see my phone with picture of my family on there? Somebody designed this phone. It's a pretty complicated thing. Somebody built it, put his brain into it. The same thing, if you see human being, if you see me for example, I have functioning hands. I can talk, speak, think. There was a designer who designed me really wonderfully. And I know who designer is. It's my God and Jesus Christ who saved me. Common sense, guys. Something like this, something complex like this doesn't just appear. You know, if you say these teeth appear by chance, no, this megalodon teeth appear by chance. It can't happen. There was a designer. If you see a design, there was a designer. You know what? I know a guy. I'm gonna leave the link to his YouTube channel on the description below my video. He's blind and he's going around and looking for megalodon teeth. Check it out, it's really interesting. Reason number 10, Bible disproves evolution. If you're gonna buy some sort of equipment and you will have 2 instructions and you will study both of them and you will pick the one that is correct. Same thing I did here. I study evolution and I study Bible. I found Bible to be scientifically accurate, historically accurate, prophetically super accurate. So Bible contains prophecies. It's amazing to study how Bible in super details saying a lot of things about future, and it happened in history. So I would take history and I would take Bible and study it together. It just blows your mind. It has almost 360 prophecies about Jesus Christ. That's why we believe in Jesus Christ. Also, I want to mention right now Grand Canyon. If you look at the Grand Canyon, all those layers sit flat on top of each other like pancakes. And the only way Grand Canyon could have formed is underwater. Bible talks about flood in days of Noah. And Grand Canyon proves that there was a great flood. We see evidence from the flood all over the earth. We see mollusks or sort of clams on top of Mount Everest. How did they get there? We see marine creatures everywhere. All these fossils that we find, trilobite, ammonite fossil, I believe they all died in a flood. Simply, geologic timescale says that they fall on the bottom because they evolved first. However, I believe ammonite fossil, they already live in the water. That's why they were buried deeper. And trilobite were buried deeper. But all the animals that can run, they run away. That's why they were buried later. But all the fossils that we see today, almost all of them was formed in a flood in days of Noah. And all those days that they give geologic time scale, they just made them up. It didn't come from carbon dating. I did not go over all the reasons why evolution fails. Carbon dating fails. You can research that in another time. I just give you a couple of reasons for you to start searching. But you know why I'm making this video? If you're an atheist and you're watching this, think about it. What if Darwin was wrong? There have been many times that people were wrong, studied something and they were wrong. What if Darwin was wrong and Bible is true? Then you have eternal soul. Then what Bible teaches about heaven and hell is true. So my call to you is, I would encourage you to find Jesus Christ, because Bible says wages of sin is death, but gifts of God is eternal life. So I wouldn't want you to perish. If you're an atheist, maybe you hate me, but I still love you, and I would want you to be in heaven with me. Yes, God created us. God designed us. We are designed by God. Bible is the truth. So what you can do is you can come to Jesus Christ. He died for your sin. Bible says wages of sin is death. And that's why Jesus had to die on a cross, for the sin of the world. Jesus Christ didn't do any sin, but he died for your sin. You did something wrong probably. I know, because everybody sins. And if you're not holy, you cannot come to heaven. You gotta be sanctified. So that's why you come to Jesus Christ and you say, God, Jesus Christ, forgive me my sin, and he will cleanse you. You will feel clean. All the sins that you ever did, he will take it away. And now you will be a God's child. That's the best thing ever in Christian life. You should experience the joy in Christian life. You won't have to do anything else. Drugs, it won't make you happy. God will make you happy. Feeling free. Jesus said, and you shall know the truth, and truth will set you free. Being free is the most wonderful and happy thing ever on this planet. Knowing Jesus Christ, that he saved you, is the most wonderful thing ever. So what I would encourage you to do right now is pray. And it's simple to pray. You gotta believe in God, that he sent Jesus Christ to die for your sin. If you did anything wrong, you say, Jesus Christ, forgive me my sin, come into my life and be my Lord and Savior. And he will forgive you, he will cleanse you, and you will be his child. And Bible says, truth will set you free, and you shall know the truth, and truth will set you free. And it's the best feeling ever to know that Jesus Christ cleaned your heart and now you're free. Then you just gotta find a church and attend, find a good Christian church, attend, worship God, and amen. We'll see you in heaven. Thank you.